Welcome to the Sports Cypher Unplugged, where we take sports talk radio from the studio into the streets. I am Gabe Salgado, and we're here at Big Ten Basketball Media Day at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare in Rosemont. Believe it or not, basketball season is upon us, and college teams around the country getting practices in, getting Midnight Madness in, and preparing for the season, which is just a few weeks away. And here at Big Ten Media Day, Northwestern and Illinois are both here. And taking a look at where Northwestern is coming from, 14-19 overall, 6-12 in the Big Ten, tied for 10th place with Penn State last year, looking to improve on that. Drew Crawford has graduated and moved on to the next phase of his life, and Northwestern has a lot of young players, including Vic Law. They still have some veterans on board with Jershawn Cobb, Dave Sobolewski, Sanjay Lumpkin, and Alex Ola, not to mention Trey Demps as well. So Northwestern looking to get back to prominence, so to speak. They haven't been to the postseason since 2011 when they played in the NIT, and they're looking to make their first NCAA tournament in school history. Hard to believe that Northwestern has never made it to the NCAA tournament. So we will be speaking with some members of Northwestern. As for the Illinois Fighting Illini, they finished 20-15 overall last year, but only 7-11 in the conference. They tied for 8th place with the Indiana Hoosiers. So Illinois managed to make it to the second round of the NIT before being eliminated by Clemson. So they do have some postseason experience underneath their belt. They're looking to get back to the big tournament for the first time since 2012. And they pretty much still have their team intact, although guard Tracy Abrams, who was supposed to be their leader this year, a senior, tore his ACL during practice, so he'll be out for the year. But Illinois still has plenty of talent to fill that hole, so we'll talk to them as well as we get going here. And joining me first is Northwestern men's basketball head coach Chris Collins. And Coach, thank you for joining us. You guys have a new year upon you already. Went by pretty quick, and there's excitement just like there was last year, but it seems like this year expectations are a little bit higher. Am I right on that?
Well, I hope that's the case, because if people expect more, then that's good. There's some excitement, and we put expectations on ourselves, and I think it's important that we take another step forward from what we did last year. We had some good wins. It was a good foundational year in year one of my staff and I being there, and now we have to kind of take it to the next step and be able to find a way to win even more and be more consistent.
Now that Drew Crawford has graduated, have you changed anything fundamentally?
Well, I just don't want anyone to feel like they have to do what Drew did. No one can do that alone. He was our Mr. Everything, and on both ends and in the locker room. So the leadership has got to be a collective effort of the older guys we have, the Trey Demps, Jershawn Cobb, Dave Sobolewski. And then, I think on the floor, it's got to be more of a collective effort. We're not going to put any one guy in that position of having to do all the things that he had to do. And hopefully with some more young talent and with the guys returning, we'll be able to make up for that loss.
Speaking of Trey Demps, will he be starting this year, or will he still be coming off the bench?
Well, that's still to be determined. I do love that dynamic of being able to bring him in off the bench. He likes it. Because of some injuries last year, he had to be a starter late in the year, and he still played well, but I think he's at his best in that role, and he knows even if he doesn't start at the end of the game, if it's close, he's going to be in there, and the ball is going to come to him. So we're still in the process of figuring that all out, but don't be surprised if you see him in that same role again.
What can you tell us about the development of Vic Law and the other young guys on the team?
Well, they're hungry. I really like the talent level of our 5 freshmen. We've added some scoring, we've added some playmaking, some athleticism to our program and to our roster, and I just like the way that they've meshed with the older guys. Sometimes that's not an easy dynamic, especially when you have a big group. And our guys have really come together. They're learning how to become a team, and certainly we're going to need a couple of those guys to emerge if we want to be successful this year.
Jershawn Cobb and Dave Sobolewski struggled with some injuries last year. How have they progressed from healing and recovering?
Well, knock on wood, everybody's healthy right now. Jershawn was probably the most serious with a foot and a knee that took most of the offseason to get well. But he's back, and we're going to really rely on those guys as seniors to give experience, leadership, and good play. I mean, they're 2 guys that have played in a lot of big games and have played well, and they're going to be cornerstones to our team.
How's Alex Ola coming along in his development?
I'm proud of where Alex is at. I thought really in the last month of the season he really came on strong. Became a real force in the middle for us, and he's got 2 years to go. So he's just going into his junior year, and he's had a good summer. He's continued to change his body, and his confidence level is at an all-time high. And we need him to emerge as to be a little bit more consistent. We need him to be there for us night in and night out.
Do you think that you have the talent this year to finally get the program into the NCAA tournament?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I think if you don't have those aspirations coming into this season, then you probably shouldn't be coaching. I mean, you want to be realistic, but you also want to be a team that's talked about in March. And to do that, though, we're going to have to play really well. We're going to have to get out of the gates early and take care of business in the non-league and give ourselves a chance once we get into the conference to be in that conversation.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
That was Northwestern Wildcats head coach Chris Collins, and I'm Gabe Salgado for the Sports Cypher Unplugged.